Welcome to Timeball Games. I'm ELD, here to ask you for help in growing the channel. When we reach 2,500 subscribers, I'm going to be giving away a custom leather playmat to one lucky subscriber. So be sure to like and subscribe. Hello and welcome to Fast Effect Double Speed Magic the Gathering from ELD's Timeball Games in Bellingham, Mass. We are going through the backlog of paper magic that we had from the end of last year. We actually didn't do any videos in December, pledging to do a video every single day this year, and had a backlog from the holiday season. So we are chewing through that here during the shutdown. Storm versus Storm, Lucas versus Adam, two-time Brennan. Has actually gone on to become three-time Brennan as he's won an ELD Open as well. He's won a Leaving a Legacy, SCG, and ELD Open. We'll see if he can add a four-time this year once we all get back to the tables. Ponder on this first turn, setting things up not good enough. Storm on Storm Violence, a very dangerous dance. You have to be sure to respect your opponent's ability to go off, but not necessarily overestimate it. There's only so much you can do with Duress and Thoughtseize to knock their clock back, and ultimately this will end up being a waste. What on earth is happening? Wasteland, is this not Storm? No, it's not. He's got Force of Will in his hand. The marquee is wrong, so this is going to be a Delver deck. I didn't even look at Lucas's hand at the beginning of that. So turn 1, turn 2, Delver of Secrets, wastelanding that Underground Sea, and we'll see if Adam also thought Lucas was on Storm. May have been an assumption based off of what he'd played in previous weeks. If so, mixing it up like that can really catch your opponent off guard in these smaller metas. Typically, when things are going well, we're talking 12 to 16 players here for Legacy, and there can be a tendency to kind of remember which decks people have built. Some players have the ability to play anything they want. Some other people kind of built a deck and are kind of married to that as they save up for future builds. We see Tarmogoyf and Delver of Secrets. Hasn't flipped yet. And this is looking like Rug Delver so far. Brainstorm sees a Hex Drinker. Into a Flooded Strand. Damage coming in with this Tarmogoyf and Delver, even though it hasn't flipped yet. Still chipping away. Once it does flip, this clock is going to narrow very rapidly. Adam is a Storm player, likely mostly going to be thinking about this in terms of the number of turns that he has left. The life total not really going to matter that much, except for Ad Nauseam, which isn't usually going to be the path to victory versus a deck running Burn. Usually versus them, you're going to want a Past in Flames kill with some certainty. Taking that risk versus a deck with Burn in it feels pretty terrible. Not only is Ad Nauseam not guaranteed to get there, but if they happen to have something like a double bolt, then you can potentially lose after taking the line that you thought was going to be good enough for you. A bolt during the end step, and Delver's still not flipping. Down to 4. This fetch land, a real decision. It's likely just going to be necessary. It'll mean if Lucas does happen to draw a lightning bolt, it could be over. Now, Rug only has the 4 bolts in all likelihood for instant speed burn. If this was a blue-red Delver build, you would expect that Fiery Islet to be cracked, and then perhaps find a Chain Lightning, which could potentially put the game completely out of reach. Adam has access now to black mana. Can he find some dark rituals and make something happen? No, he cannot. It would have taken an awful lot from there. Something along the lines of leading out with a Duress and then Dark Ritual into some more mana and then a Tutor. Absolutely set back by that Wasteland in a matchup that is actually pretty difficult. Delver strategies can be very challenging for Storm, as they represent a clock. As we saw there, that game eventually closed out by Tarmogoyf and Delver of Secrets. Hard control decks sometimes struggle versus Storm, and that even if they can stop that first attempt at lethal, if they can't get the Storm player out of there, very often the Storm player is actually more adept at rebuilding thanks to the high number of cantrips. There's also some inherent advantages of Storm, like the flashback on Past in Flames. That can be very difficult for a control deck to handle. Even if you stop it the first time, you have to have an answer for the flashback or it'll still kill you just a turn later. If they have enough mana, sometimes it'll kill you on the same turn. It's one of the things about Force of Negation that's particularly strong, is exiling the card, which is no small thing versus Storm. The ability to hit a Tutor and make sure that it's not there for flashback later on with Past in Flames, very significant. Storm with the play, always dangerous. Underground Sea into Preordain. Sees a Cabal Ritual. And it's going top bottom. Tropical Island into a Ponder. Sees a Force of Will, and that's exactly the type of thing Rug needs in this matchup. Rug is going to be fighting this battle on the stack or going after Storm's mana base. Sometimes we see Winter Orb, sometimes Null Rod. Always Wasteland. Stifle's often part of this build as well. Storm really shrugs off one avenue of attack pretty easily a lot of the time. When you're able to attack its mana base and the stack, or the hand and the stack, that's when that noose starts to tighten for the Storm player. If you can do all three, that is a lot of fronts to have. Very difficult to defend them all effectively. Preordain. Couple of Underground Seas here for Adam. A Ponder gets no Surd. Lucas not happy with those. And has not established a clock here yet. Looks like he's got a Goyf in hand, so it may come down next turn. But so far, no clock. And a Spell Pierce hits this Duress. That's enough for Adam to pass the turn. Ponder keeps digging. Doesn't look like that one will be good enough either. Fiery Islet, not the type of card that you want to ponder to find. And just a Force of Will left. Lucas may have to just commit it to the board. It's kind of a difficult situation at times as a Delver player. Once you have something like a Tarmogoyf, when you tap out, sometimes that does kind of force your opponent to go for it in a situation where they may not have otherwise. The longer the game goes, without Adam attempting to combo off can sometimes favor him. Hooting Mandrills, leaving a mana open. And that does give at least a semblance of a shield of potentially Spell Pierce or Veil of Summer. Thoughtseize. Adam just still going for it here. Got a Brainstorm in response, and this is going to be a critical turn. Lucas may end up keeping both counters in his hand, or he may save them to the top of the library, hoping that it's useful later. He's got a decision here. He can potentially try and daze, add to the storm. Oh, he's got double daze, so this is actually a very interesting situation here. Force of Will is a single counter, taking up 2 cards. Dazes, if he can play around them, won't end up actually countering anything. He has to pass here. Ooh, Wasteland complementing those dazes very nicely. Tarmogoyf adds to the board presence. Adam's got a couple of turns left here. This first Dark Ritual is going to get hit with a daze. Passes the turn. Some more damage. He's got to draw a land here. And he does not have it. Very interesting. So he plays a Dark Ritual. I'm actually not clear what's going on here. It looks like Adam might actually have a path to victory here. He's got double Lion's Eye Diamond. Plays a Dark Ritual. It gets countered. With double Lion's Eye Diamond, he can play it, flash back the Past in Flames. I'm not sure if he conceded there. Let's see if they start to play a third game. But, I mean, that was actually capable of playing through that daze. I think we may be on to game number 3 here. Let's see what actually happens. Yeah, that's exactly what happened here. So the hand was revealed almost like Adam was scooping. But double Lion's Eye Diamond, good enough to get the job done. As he played the Dark Ritual, once I saw the Lion's Eye Diamond, the first thing that popped into my head was, in that situation, you actually want to play your LED first. Because if he tries to daze it, you could just Dark Ritual, and you actually would have had more mana going into that Past in Flames. Very interesting situation there. Could have actually played around that daze a little bit differently. We're off to game number 3 here. Adam able to get past 3 counters. Turn 1 Delver for Lucas. An ideal opening. Let's see if it flips. Naturally, perhaps he'll have a Brainstorm to help it out. Preordain here for Adam. A Tropical Island. No red yet for Lucas. Tarmogoyf. Right now just a 2/3. Land and Sorcery. Instance pretty easy to come by. With only 3 cards left in hand. Adam fetching out basic lands. Certainly was hit hard by Wasteland in the previous 2 games. That won't be the case this game. We've got a Lotus Petal coming down into Dark Ritual, and this could be it if Lucas doesn't have a counter. He has a nice, solid, aggressive-looking draw. He may have been relying on that. Does he have a counter to stop this ritual? A flash of red to the front of the hand. Looks like a Force of Will. He may have a blue card paired right next to it. It looks like a Ponder. It'll leave him with just 1 card in hand. And he will Force of Will this Dark Ritual. 4 cards in the graveyard. I believe we saw a Cabal Ritual either in his hand or on top of the library. An instant on top of the library. Looked like it might have been a lightning bolt. We'll see if we can catch a glimpse of that. Only 2 cards left for Lucas. Adam is facing down a substantial clock. It's pretty much going to be shoving all in here. The top of the deck, a very dangerous place for Lucas to be visiting. Adam would prefer as few of visits as possible. Brainstorm. There's a fetch land in there. You can at least get a shuffle out of this. If there's going to be more card drawing. Fetching. No, he's just going to Thoughtseize. And from here... Oh, it was Pyroblast. Was a red card. Pyroblast going to the graveyard. He sees the Wasteland in hand. The only thing left to be able to disrupt him. Grabs a non-basic. And will this be going for lethal right now? Cabal Ritual to 5 black. 8 black. Lion's Eye Diamond. If that last card is a tutor, and I believe it is, this is going to be a wrap. Infernal Tutor, and that is all, folks. He's going to be able to grab red mana with this Lion's Eye Diamond. Lucas has no way of interacting. He's going to be able to replay both rituals, get a ton of mana, can actually Infernal for additional Infernals if necessary to build the Storm count. But that is it. Storm taking down Rug Delver in an excellent match. That is all for this one, but don't worry, there is a lot more. You can check out our older videos, and we're always putting out new videos from ELD's Time Vault Games in Bellingham, Massachusetts. If you want to help the channel, of course, you can like, subscribe, share, tap that notification bell so you can know the next time our new videos come out. Thanks for watching.